Good afternoon, Hattiesburg. Thanks for joining us for this briefing. I hope you all had a great weekend with some great weather. Today we'll go over today's numbers in terms of testing. We'll talk about some community testing potential that's coming to South Hattiesburg. We'll talk about the first weekend of expanded retail as well as masks for customers. We'll talk about Governor Reeves' update to his executive order from earlier this afternoon, and of course our regular act of courage. So today's numbers, again, these are our healthcare organizations in their entire system. So all of Forest General's 19 counties, all of Merritt's 18 counties, Cimarron and Hattiesburg Clinics counties as well. And so what we see right now is that as of this morning, we've seen 6,206 total tests. That's for all of our healthcare organizations, not just Forest and Lamar counties, but for their entire area. That number has grown over the last week especially because last week when Governor Reeves allowed for elective healthcare procedures to go forward, for example, Forest General test everyone that goes in for a procedure. I know both our hospitals test when major surgeries are happening as well as part of the screening process to keep both patients and staff safe. And so that's why the number of total tests has gone up. With that, we've seen a number of new positive tests, 751. And I asked Dr. Batson kind of what that was about, and we kind of go back to Easter Sunday, and there were a lot of families still kind of interacting, and we're seeing a lot of family spread within families over the last couple of weeks. And so a lot of new positives, not just for Forest and Lamar counties, but for the surrounding areas. We've had 5163 negative tests. We have 292 pending tests as of now. Our overall goals want to first of all protect vulnerable populations. That's especially important now that Forest County has, we're up to 14 deaths and 2 in Lamar County. Vulnerable populations are people over the age of 60 and people with chronic or underlying health conditions. Our second goal is trying to prevent overrun of the healthcare system by slowing the spread. So if and when you need healthcare on this disease, there is sufficient capacity in terms of equipment and personnel to take care of you. When we talk about overrun of the healthcare system and preserving capacity, we look at two things: hospitalizations and ICU admissions. Today we have 41 people in the hospital who have tested positive for COVID. That's up from last weekend. The average over the last 14 days is just over 36. We also, in terms of ICU admissions, we see 18. That's up over the last weekend and up over the last 14-day average of 14.43. The thing that kind of is concerning to me is this hospitalization. We are up to 41, and so that's actually the highest point that we've hit, and it's the third time we've hit it since we kind of hit the first peak in April 16th, which shows that again this thing takes 14 days sometimes to incubate and get going, and so the hospitalizations you're seeing now may have been they may have caught it or been diagnosed or been picked up around Easter or the next weekend. ICU admissions we're encouraging. We're kind of staying between this 10, 16, 17 on a regular basis of people who are COVID positive. But the issue we have at both our hospitals is that you also have your health care, you also have your heart attacks, your strokes, your car accidents, and so preserving capacities is a big thing for us. Our totals per county right now had big jumps on both fronts. Forest County 248, Lamar County 121. Forest County actually had 16 new cases. That's the highest new positive case in a given day since this began. We're up to 369 in the metro area. And so then we look at our 5-day averages. This takes a given day, this takes the new positive cases 2 days before, the new positive cases 2 days after, and averages them all into one sort of 5-day average. And the concern again here is we kind of hit this peak around April 15th, April 16th, and we dropped and kind of fluctuated a little bit, and now we're climbing back up again. And so the 5-day average, that does give me a lot of pause as we move forward, because we do want to see us kind of have a trend going downward. A good community testing opportunity for South Hattiesburg, for Palmer's Crossing, and for really anyone in the surrounding area who wants a free drive-through test. That is coming to Hattiesburg through our Southeast Mississippi Rural Health Initiative Family Health Center. That is our FQHC that's on Old Airport Road as you go into Palmer's Crossing, right off of 49. On Wednesday, May 13th from 9 to 1. That's Wednesday, May 13th from 9 to 1. There is free drive-through testing. Again, and if you're not in Hattiesburg area, if you're watching from somewhere else, Tuesday, May 19th will be in Beaumont, and then Thursday, May 21st will be in Seminary. So I encourage you, if you haven't gone, if you feel like you may have symptoms or you feel like you've been exposed to someone and you just want to go and check drive-through testing and free, May 13th, 9 to 1 at the Family Health Center on Old Airport Road. Last weekend, of course, we started the new executive order to begin the month of May, and this added the requirement that customers, not just employees, in retail establishments wear masks. And I was so encouraged that I went to several places, and there were so many folks wearing their masks. I think I went to Walmart early on Sunday morning on 49, and 100% were wearing theirs. Home Depot that afternoon, everyone was wearing theirs. And so again, that applies to people who are age 6 and over. There is also an exception that if you have a medical issue or with wearing masks, or if you have a disability, you are exempt as well. And so thank you to our stores who have faithfully helped us implement this. I know this is inconvenient, but as we look at ways to both open up the economy but also reduce the risk of community transmission, masks will be part of our immediate future. Of course, we've had some questions about how do you wear a mask, and I've seen some very creative ways with which people are wearing masks, but this is from the CDC. It needs to be pulled up all the way over your nose and then also covering your mouth, and that is actually the definition of the mask that we ask you to do. Masks are anything that can cover your nose or mouth while still allowing you to breathe comfortably. All right, earlier this afternoon, Governor Reeves made some updates to his Safer at Home order. And he left open the possibility for municipalities that choose to participate in other places in the state that have capacity for restaurants with some very strict social distancing guidelines. He also opened up parks between the hours of 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. He left indoor gathering limits at 10 or fewer, but on outdoor gatherings he opened up to fewer than 20. Now, I will tell you that we are looking at kind of where we're going to go with this as a city. And Governor Reeves has opened the door for us to do this. Again, I have some significant concerns right now just about the fact that we're peaking for a third time in terms of our new positive tests per day in Forrest and Lamar counties, as well as our rate of hospitalizations. And so understanding that this disease takes 14 days to get moving, the decisions we make today will affect what happens, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. So we're going to continue to monitor it and figure out what our next steps will be. Tonight I have a conference call with some restaurant owners. I'm putting together another call with them tomorrow. We're also having talks with the gym owners and barber shops and salons and churches, trying to figure out a way that we move forward together where everyone has some ownership, everyone shares ideas, and then we ultimately make the best decision for not only the public health of the Hattiesburg metro area, but also for giving our business owners some space to operate creatively. Our act of courage today to start this week off. We had so many churches that have stepped up to meet some unmet needs in our community, and one of those is Mount Olive Baptist Church. For the last 3 Fridays, they have done care packages that people can drive in, pick up, and take with them. I think even Ward 5 Councilman Nick Brown was delivering packages to folks last Friday afternoon. But thank you to Mount Olive and Pastor Siggers and his entire staff for meeting the needs of their community. As we go into the rest of the week, wash your hands, take care of yourself physically, mentally, wear a mask if you go out in public, do only what is essential, and remember that you are safer at home. We're going to continue getting through this as we navigate these uncertain times, and I remind you, courage.